All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. The Pittsburgh Steelers actually just broke the National Football League. If I sound out of breath, it's because I am. I just ran back to record this video. DK Metcalf is a Pittsburgh Steeler. Oh my goodness. Omar Khan, the con artist himself. Free agency begins, or the tampering period begins, less than 24 hours from right now. And we have free agency officially beginning on Wednesday. But I'm sure the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to make a bunch of moves. But we have to talk about DK. Folks, I am literally out of breath. Give me a second here. According to NFL Network's Tom Pelissero and Ian Rappaport, the Seahawks traded DK Metcalf to the Pittsburgh Steelers in exchange for a second-round pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. He also, Schefter added that the teams are flipping picks in the 6th and 7th rounds. And if you guys been paying attention to the Seahawks or NFL rumors, DK requested a trade earlier this month. We just saw Geno Smith, former Seahawks QB, get traded on over. This kind of has me feeling that Russell Wilson might be staying for at least one more season for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but he found a new home and he's actually going to sign a 5-year, $150 million extension, according to leak sources. Guys, this is an A-plus move. I've been begging, and I'm sure Steelers fans, you guys have been doing the same thing. If I'm reading these comments, we've all been saying the same thing. Please go out there and get this team offensive help. All right, please. Please, 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 please. They had no clear-cut wide receiver 2 for this entire season, although they still finished 16th in total scoring, 27th, though, in passing yards per game. But let's talk about DK. He appeared in 15 games this past season. He had 66 catches for 992 yards and 5 touchdowns. He missed 2 games after suffering an MCL injury in November, and he's been in the league for 6 full seasons. This is the first time, folks, he's missed multiple games in a season. First time he has missed multiple games in a season. And no matter who the quarterback is, you can, maybe this doesn't mean Russ is staying in Pittsburgh and they're, keeping Justin. They're going to draft or trade for or sign a guy, whatever the heck they end up doing at QB. We'll talk about that at the end of the video. This is one of the craziest wide receiver rooms in the National Football League. George Pickens and DK Metcalf is freaking believable. But DK is a former second-round pick in the 2019 draft. He reached the 1,000-yard mark 3 times and has finished with at least 900 yards every year since entering the National Football League. He was a Pro Bowl selection in 2020 and 2023, and he also earned second-team All-Pro honors in 2020 after finishing with a career-high 1,303 yards. Now, some people are concerned about holding back emotions and just the way he plays football. He's a very passionate, intense guy in the National Football League. Obviously, he's huge. He's 6'4", one of the biggest wide receivers in the National Football League, but he has also been one of the most penalized receivers in the NFL since 2019. And, George Pickens has had some moments here as well, but I don't know, man. This is really refreshing. I just feel really refreshed. If we haven't said this already, welcome back to the channel. Hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Post a ton of Steelers videos on this channel as well. I know it's for a second-round pick, but they just got, you have 2 wide receiver ones. It kind of feels like they're doing a Philadelphia Eagle type of thing here. As far as, let's just talk about the offense in general. I already mentioned they were 16th in the league in scoring at 22.4 points per game. They were the 11th best rushing team in the NFL, but Najee Harris is about to become a free agent starting tomorrow. I don't think he's going to be coming back. They were 25th, though, in yards per play at 5, and they were only 27th in the league in passing yards per game. And, I love Russ, and I love Justin Fields. I'm looking at my Justin Fields Steelers jersey right behind me right now. I'm not quite sure what they're going to do with the quarterback position. Russ was really solid when he first started playing for Pittsburgh. We remember Justin Fields went 4-2 in the Steelers' first 6 games, and then Russ came back from his injury and rattled off a bunch of big-time wins, but their season ended terribly. They lost by 14 to Philly. They lost by 17 to Baltimore. They lost by 19 on Christmas Day to the Kansas City Chiefs. Close loss to the Bengals by 2, and then in the playoffs, they got absolutely routed. I guess it was only a 14-point game, but still offensively, man, they needed way more. And Russ in the playoffs, 20 of 29, 270 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. But like I said, if you're a Steelers fan or if you watch the Steelers play football at any point this past season, this team needed so much more offensive help. And the playoff game against Baltimore is a really perfect example. I know they're coming from behind and they have to throw the football a bunch. The rushing was disgusting. Najee ran the ball 6 times. Russ ran it 3 times. Jalen ran it twice. It was just a nightmare of a game right from the get-go. George Pickens was the leading receiver in that playoff game against Baltimore. 5 catches, 87 yards. Outside of that, their second best receiver was running back Najee Harris with 3 catches for 41 yards. Now, Mike Williams had a nice 37-yarder. Van Jefferson had a nice 30-yarder. Calvin Austin had a nice 25-yarder. There was never, ever, ever any stability at the wide receiver position outside of George Pickens. And it was super easy to beat their passing attack. All you had to do against the Pittsburgh Steelers, because of their great defense, was just get a lead and get it early. Make Pittsburgh throw the football. Let them abandon their run game, double team George Pickens, and they're not going to do anything. And that's exactly what we saw in the final month of Pittsburgh Steelers football. Receiving yards last season, George Pickens led the team, 59 catches for 900 yards, and he also missed a couple of games. Number 2, though, was tight end Pat Freiermuth, who had a nice bounce-back season, 65 catches for 653 yards. And then Calvin Austin, gadget guy, 36 catches, 548, but he's more of a gadget guy, right? Calvin Austin III, especially at his speed and his height and his weight, he's a gadget guy. He's a playmaker, right? He's not wide receiver 2 in the sense of just because of his role, right? Not saying he can't be capable of a wide receiver 2, but he's just a big-time player, right? Number 4 on the team was running back Jaylen Warren. Number 5 on the team was Najee Harris, another running back. And then you had Van Jefferson, who signed a 1-year contract, only with 24 catches for 276. So it's just clear as day that Pittsburgh needed to make a wide receiver move. And I'm so honestly relieved for my Steelers fans. Like at DK Metcalf, last year we spent so much time rumoring Brandon Ayuk to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And it kind of always felt like, this actually feels like a move Omar Khan's going to make. It kind of feels like a move Mike Tomlin is 100% down with. But was Pittsburgh really going to pull the trigger? Well, obviously Brandon Ayuk didn't end up getting traded, and the offseason came and went, and they didn't upgrade that position. But we spent all last summer and we spent all of the first 6-7 weeks talking about targets for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And they come out at the end of the day with a top 10 dude in DK Metcalf. I mean, this is an A+ move. Now you don't need to draft a wide receiver in the first round. Now you don't have a second round pick, but you didn't need to draft a wide receiver there. You just got one of the best dudes in the NFL at his position. This is awesome. This is money. That's it for me. Hit that like button, hit that sub button if you haven't already. But guys, give me this trade a grade down below. I'm going with an A+. Peace.